What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Cody Campbell with High Ground Gaming, and today we're doing a VALORANT Sentinel guide. We're going to start by talking about the 3 things to do as a Sentinel, the 3 things to avoid doing as a Sentinel, and then we're going to talk about tips and tricks for each individual agent. Stick around. Let's start off with the top 3 things to do as a Sentinel. Number 1, hold sights on defense. Sentinels all have a number of abilities that make them ideal for holding sights by themselves. You can either single-handedly hold down one side in case an enemy rotates back away from the rest of your team when they looked like they were pushing one side, or you could buy time on a side that the enemy is pushing until your teammates can arrive to back you up. Number 2, hold flanks on offense. Let the duelists take the front. Let them take point and corners. It's the Sentinel's job to guard the flanks of the group, using their abilities to set traps and alarms that let your team know when enemies try and sneak around behind them. Number 3, support your team. Sentinels all come with a variety of support-based abilities. They're unique to each agent, whether it's Cypher's information gathering or Sage's healing, but they all have something. Keep an eye on your teammates' needs and support them to the best of your ability. Now let's talk about the top 3 things to avoid doing as a Sentinel. Number 1, don't push in first. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but Sentinels aren't best equipped for site entry. Their abilities are more suited to holding an already cleared site and supporting allies from the rear. Sentinels who push in first tend to die first. Number 2, don't play mid. It's the Sentinel's job to hold and to cover, not to attack or to flank. Taking the middle route is more for flanking on attacks or rotating to a site that needs defenders. A Sentinel is much better off setting up on one side and holding their position. Number 3, wait to rotate. It's generally a good idea to leave one person holding a site even for a few minutes after an enemy has begun to push the opposite site. This is to ensure that the enemy attack isn't a feint or a decoy, and that they aren't going to rotate back to an undefended side after tricking you into thinking that they are pushing one side. But now it's time to move on to agent tips and tricks. We're going to start out with Cypher. When playing as Cypher, one of his key moves are his cages, which are sort of like smokes that he can throw out to blind enemies. There's a trick called a one-way cage, which involves placing Cypher's cage ability on walls and entryways in such a way that you can see the enemy's feet through the cage, but they can't see you. These take a little bit of practice to get the hang of, since they have to be placed in such specific places. There are several guides with information on the best locations for these on each map. We'll link one in the description. When playing a Cypher, you might find a few good places to set cameras and trips, and you might be tempted to keep reusing those places, but you should not do that. Do not use the same setups every round. Place Cypher's tripwires and camera in different places so that the enemy team doesn't start to spot a pattern in your placement. Otherwise, they can simply shoot them, rendering them useless. There's another trick called playing off your tripwires. It's good to get in the habit of camping right around the corner from one of your trips. That way you can either round the corner or shoot through the wall and get a quick kill. You should also get in the habit of placing Cypher's camera as high as possible. This helps keep it hidden, and it also gives a wider field of view so that you can observe more enemy activity. Now let's talk about Sage. When playing as Sage, use your walls right away if most of the enemy team is attacking at once. So if there's a bunch of them pushing on you, throw up that wall. This will stall their push, which gives your team time to rotate and help you defend a site. Sage's slow orb ability should be used in doorways or as soon as enemies break through your wall. This will make them easier to pick off, and it'll also help to stall them until your reinforcements arrive. One of the things Sage is most well known for is her healing ability. You should heal allies as soon as they're hurt. There's really no point in holding on to Sage's healing orb, since you'll get it back in 45 seconds, and rounds in Valorant are so quick you never know, you could die before you get the chance. Just fire it off as soon as you get it. Keeping allies alive is more important than conserving abilities. Her Resurrection ultimate ability is really powerful, and she should use it as soon as she's able to, just like the healing. You should bring back a dead ally as soon as they fall, but in the event that you come across multiple dead allies, you're better off sort of triaging and bringing back your top frag. That way you'll stand a better chance of wiping the enemy team and winning the round. Finally, let's talk about Killjoy. Killjoy's abilities are best used together. One of the best things about the Genius of Germany is that her abilities synchronize really well. Place an alarm bot and both nanoswarms side by side in a hall or doorway, and you can all but guarantee a kill. You should also place nanoswarm mollies on the spike after planting. This is a really good trick because you can detonate the abilities as soon as you hear the enemy tap the spike, and then you have one less diffuser to worry about. In terms of turret placement, you should set it up in order to try and create crossfire. Place the turret at an opposite angle from an entry point than the one that you have sights on. This will draw the enemy's attention, deal damage, and slow them down while you pick them off from behind. Killjoy's lockdown ability is powerful, but should be saved for when you need to retake a site rather than used to defend a site you're already holding. This will keep the enemy trapped in place instead of allowing them to escape, wait out the ability, and then come back. That's going to do it for us today, though, folks. If you haven't already, check out our Duelist guide. We also have a controller and initiator guide on the way, so be sure to like and subscribe to the video if you'd like to see more Valorant content like this. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Happy gaming.